Hello everyone. In this lecture we are going to discuss class 8th topic chapter number 14 compound interest practice set 14.2. So look ahead for the question number first from practice set 14.2. On construction the worker of flyover bridge, there were 320 workers initially. The number of workers were increased by 25%. Find the number of workers after 2 years. Now here once we have given the number of workers were increased by 25% every year and we have total number of years 2 years, so that the problem is for compound interest because every year it should be increases by 25%. So whatever be the amount we are getting at the end of the first year, that will be the principal value for upcoming year, means the second year. And at the end of the second year whatever be the amount we will receive, that is the required value. That means those are the number of workers at the end of the 2 years we are having. So that the given data I am writing here, we have the total number of workers at start, that is the principal amount. We are having 320 workers. Now rate of increase of a workers per year, that we are having 25% per annum. That means the 25%. Total number of years we have 2 years. So that once it is compounded annually, so we have to use here formula for compound interest. So what is the formula for compound interest? We have to evaluate the amount A to be equals to P into 1 plus R divided by 100 whole to the power n. So that A to be equals to, we have the principal value 320 workers into 1 plus percent per annum rate of interest, we have the 25 divided by 100 as it is, and total duration we have 2 years. So let's try to simplify it. Now we well known 25 ones are 25, 25 fours are 100, so that we are getting 320 into 1 plus 1 upon 4 the whole square. Let's by making cross multiplication in case of bracket, we are having now 320 into 4 ones are 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 divided by 4 the whole square. Now we well known 5 square means 5 5s are we have 25, 4 square means 4 4s are we have is 16. Now 16 ones are 16, 16 twos are 32, so that we are getting 16 into 20 becomes 320. So we'll remain with the 20 into 25. Now 25 twos are 50. So at the end of the 2 years, we have there are 500 workers. Look at the question number second from practice set 14.2. A shepherd has 200 sheep with him. Find the number of sheep with him after 3 years if the increase in the number of sheep is 8% every year. So again the given question is for the compound interest, we might be says, because every year the sheep are increasing by 8%, so that are compounded annually. So that the given data we have is of the form principal value means the total number of sheep. At the start we are having 200 sheep, and next to it we have find the number of sheep with him after 3 years. So duration we have given the 3 years. Next to it percent per annum rate, we have the 8%. Here we have given it is increases, so the value of R becomes the positive 8% per annum, and we have to find now the number of sheep at the end of the 2 years, 3 years. Okay, so that means we have to evaluate the amount A. So once it is compounded annually, so that we are having as per the compound interest, to evaluate the amount of sheep at the end of the 3 years, A to be equals to principal value means sheep at the start into 1 plus rate divided by 100 whole to the power duration. So now amount of shifts at the end of the 3 years, we have A to be equals to principal value we have 200, 1 plus rate of interest we have 8 divided by 100 whole to the power, duration we have a 3. So that we well know now 4 2s are 8 and 25 4s are 100. So that value of A we have now 200 into 1 plus 2 divided by 25 the whole cube. So that should implies now A to be equals to 200 into, we are having 25 ones are 25 plus 2, 27. Let's do the cross multiplication in case of the bracket. 27 divided by 25 the whole cube. Now the whole cube means itself a 3 times multiplication, so that we are getting 200 into 27 divided by 25 into 27 divided by 25 into 27 divided by 25. Now we well known 25 8s are, we have a 200, so that we remain with now 8 into 27 into 27 we are getting 729. One more 27 we have in case of the numerator, divided by 25 into 25. Try to simplify it. Now 8 into 729 we are getting 5832 into 27 divided by, we have a 25 into 25. Now 5832 into 27 we are getting 1,57,464 divided by 25 into 25 we have 625. Now once we divide 1,57,464 by 625, we are getting 251.94. So now shifts is in the integer value like 250, 251, 252, 253, something like that. So once we have the digit after the decimal which is 5 or greater than 5, we have here 9 which is greater than 5. So we have to write the successor of the previous digit. That means it is now approximately equals to, we have 252 shifts at the end of the 3 years. That means total number of shifts at the end of the 3 years approximately 252 shifts. Look at the question number 3 from practice set 14.2. We have in a forest there are 40,000 trees. Find expected number of trees after 3 years if the objective is to increase the number at the rate 5% per year. Now for each year the rate of increment we have the 5%. That means given question based on the compound interest. So that we have given at the start number of shifts, that number of trees here, that are 40,000. So the principal amount we have 40,000 trees. Next to it we have to evaluate, find the expected number of trees after 3 years. That means we have given the duration becomes 3 years. And rate of increment per year we have the 5%. And we have to evaluate now amount of trees at the end of the 3 years. That means value of A. Once the given question is for compounded annually. Why it is compounded annually? Because per year there is a increment is in the rate of increase in the trees, that is 5%. That's why it is compounded annually. So we have the formula to evaluate the number of trees at the end of the 3 years, means the amount to be equals to principal into 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 whole to the power duration. So that after all replacing all values we are getting A to be equals to principal value we have 40,000 into 1 plus rate of interest we have a 5 divided by 100 whole to the power we have a 3. Now we well known 5 ones are 5, 25s are we have a 100. So that amount of trees or the number of trees at the end of the 3 years we have a 40,000 into, now we'll remain with the 1 plus 1 upon 20 the whole cube. Let's by making the cross multiplication in case of the bracket, we are getting 40,000 into 21s are 20 plus 1, we have a 21 divided by 20 the whole cube. So that amount of trees at the end of the 3 years we are getting 40,000 into, now cube means itself a 3 times multiplication. That means 21 divided by 20 into 21 divided by 20 into 21 divided by 20. Now we well known here 21s are 20, 22s are we have a 40, so that we are getting 2000. Again next to it we have a 21s are 20, 21s are 20, we are getting 100. And the same thing at last we are having now 21s are 20, 25s are 100. So we'll remain with the 5 into, now 21 into 21 we have 441 into 21 remains as it is. So the amount of trees at the end of the 3 years, now we are having 441 into 21, that is 9261. 9261 into 5, we are getting 46,305 trees at the end of the 3 years. Now look ahead, the fourth sub question from practice set 14.2 we have the cost price of a machine is 2,50,000 if rate of depreciation is 10% per year. Find the depreciation in the price of the machine after 2 years. Now look ahead, as per the given data we have firstly the principal amount of a machine 2,50,000 rupees. Once we have given depreciation in the rate, that is 10%, that means now we have the reducing rate. So the R value we have here minus of 10%. Next to it we have to evaluate the amount at the end of the 2 years. That means A value we have to evaluate and duration we have given the 2 years. So what shall we have to do now? So once it is compounded annually, rate per year decreases by 10%, 10%, 10% and so on, so that it is compounded annually. So once it is compounded annually, we have to use the formula belongs to compound interest. So we have the formula to evaluate here amount of machine at the end of the 2 years, that is equals to the principal amount of machine plus principal amount of machine into 1 plus reducing rate divided by 100 whole to the power duration. So that here we are having now A to be equals to 2,50,000 be the principal value into 1 plus R value we have a minus 10 divided by 100 whole to the power duration we have a 2 years. So A to be equals to 2,50,000 into 1 plus minus becomes minus, 10 ones are 10, 10 tens are 100, so that 1 by 10 the whole square. Now let's by making cross multiplication in case of bracket, we are getting 2,50,000 into 10 minus 1 becomes 9 divided by 10 the whole square. Now what shall we have to do? A to be equals to we are having now 2,50,000 into 9 square is 81, 10 square is 100. Now 2 zeros from denominator numerator getting cancelled. That means there is a divisibility of 100. 2,50,000 divided by 100 we are getting ultimately 2,500 into 81. So do the multiplication, 2,500 into 81, we have now 2,02,500 rupees be the value of that machine at the end of 2 years. Look at the question number 5 from practice set 14.2. Find the compound interest if the amount of a certain principal after 2 years is 4,036.80 rupees at a rate of 16% per annum. So what we have given now, read the question carefully. We have given here the amount at the end of the 2 years, that is 4,036.80 rupees. We have the rate of interest, that is 16% per annum. Duration we have the 2 years, and here we have to evaluate the principal amount. So that once it is compounded annually, because we have given find the compound interest if the amount of a certain principal. So we have to evaluate here the compound interest too, keep in mind. So I am putting the question mark in front of the CI. CI stands for the compound interest. So once it is compounded annually, so that we have the formula for evaluating the amount at the end of the 2 years is equal to principal into 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 whole to the power duration. So now we have given the amount 4036.80, that is equals to, we have to evaluate at start the principal amount. So P into, we have 1 plus R value we have is 16 divided by 100 whole to the power duration we have it 2 years. So that should implies now we have a 4 4s are 16 and a 25 4s are 100. So that 4036.80, that is equals to, we have P into 1 plus 4 divided by 25 the whole square. So let's by making the cross multiplication in case of bracket. Keep in mind it is a linear equation in one variable. Actually here P be the variable, we have to evaluate the value of variable P. Let's by making cross multiplication, 25 ones are 25 plus 4, we are getting 29. 29 divided by 25 the whole square. So now let's try to be separate out the square of the fraction, that means the numerator as well as the denominator. We are getting 4036.80 equals to P into 29 square we have 841, while 25 square we have 625. Now to evaluate the value of variable P, we have to shift 841 divided by 625. So that we are having now 4036.80. 625 is the divisor, after all shifting it will become a multiplier, while 841 is the multiplier, after all shifting it will become a divisor, that is equals to, we have a P. So 4036.80 into 625, we are getting 25,23,000 whole divided by, we have 841, that is the value of P. So that once we divide 25,23,000 by 841, we are getting the value of principal becomes 3,000 rupees. Now we have to evaluate the compound interest. So we have compound interest to be equals to amount minus principal. We have given the amount 4036.80 minus of, we have the principal value 3000. So that we are getting 1036.80 rupees be the compound interest. So that at last I am writing here, we have the value for compound interest which is denoted by the CI, that is equals to 1036.80 rupees. Look at the question number 6 from practice set 14.2. A loan of rupees 15,000 was taken on compound interest. If the rate of compound interest is 12% per annum, find the amount to settle the loan after 3 years. That means we have to find the amount to be paid at the end of the 3 years to complete the loan. So that we have given here the principal value, that means the amount to be borrowed at start, that is 15,000 rupees. Then we have given the duration as a 3 years and rate of interest we have, that is R value 12% per annum, means the 12%. We have to evaluate the amount at the end of the 3 years. So once it is compounded annually, so that we have to use the formula for compound interest. To evaluate the amount at the end of the 3 years, we have amount to be equals to principal into 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 whole to the power duration, means the capital N. Now let's try to replace by their value. We are having now the amount at the end of the 3 years, A to be equals to principal value 15,000 into 1 plus rate of interest is 12 divided by 100 whole to the power duration we have 3 years. Now we well known 4 3s are 12 and 25 4s are 100. So that we have now the A to be equals to 15,000 into 1 plus 3 divided by 25 the whole cube. Let's by making the cross multiplication in case of the bracket. We have 25 ones are 25 plus 3 is 28. So that 28 divided by 3, the 28 divided by 25 the whole cube. Now cube means itself a 2 times multiplication, so that we are getting 15,000 into 28 divided by 25 into 28 divided by 25 into 28 divided by 25. Now once we divide 15,000 by 25, we are getting quotient as a 600. Now again we can divide that 600 by 25. We are getting the quotient as a 24. That means we'll remain with now 24 into, now 28 into 28, we have 784 into 28 whole divided by just we have a 25. Try to simplify it. We are getting the amount value now 24 into 784, we have 18,816 into 28 divided by we have a 25. Now 18,816 into 28, we are getting here 5,26,846 divided by 25. Once we divide 5,26,846 by 25, we are getting 21,073.92 that much rupees. So to close the loan after 3 years, we have to pay the amount at the end of the 3 years, 21,073.92 rupees. Look at the question number 7 from practice set 14.2. A principal amounts to rupees 13,924 in 2 years by compound interest at 18% per annum. Find the principal. So that look at the given data. We have given that amount at the end of 2 years, that is 13,924 rupees. Then duration we have given the 2 years. Next to it we have the rate of interest is 18% per annum, and we have to evaluate the value of principal. So once it is compounded annually, so that we have the formula to evaluate the amount at the end of 2 years. A to be equals to principal into 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 whole to the power duration capital N. Once we replace all known values from the formula, we are getting 13,924 to be equals to principal value we have to evaluate, so keep that P as it is, into 1 plus rate of interest we have a 18 divided by we have 100 whole to the power we have a 2. Now we have a 2 9s are 18 and 52s are 100, so that we have 13,924 is equal to P into 1 plus 9 divided by 50 the whole square. So we can say that it is a linear equation in one variable, where variable we have a P whose value we have to evaluate. So that let's by making the cross multiplication in case of bracket, we are getting now 13,924, that is equals to P into 51s are 50 plus 9 is 59 divided by 50 the whole square. Now let's try to evaluate the 59 square. Do that 59 into 59, we are getting 3,481, and now 50 square I am writing it is of the form 50 into 50. So now to evaluate the value of P, let's try to shift that 3,481 divided by 50 into 50 from RHS to LHS, so that we are getting here. Once the 50 into 50 in case of the denominator, you may try to write the 50 into 50, we have 2,500, and now you may shift the numbers. So that 2,500 be the divisor, after all shifting it will become a multiplier to 13,924 into we are getting 2,500, and 3,481 be the multiplier, after all shifting it will become a divisor. So that is equals to we have value of P. So P to be equals to now, once the numerator the number ends with a 4, let's try to do the multiplication. 1 4s we have a 4, so 3,481 into 4, we are getting 4 1s are 4, 8 4s are 32, carry 3, 4 4s are 16 plus 3, 19, carry 1, 4 3s are 12 plus 1, 13, exactly we are getting 13,924. So 3,481 1s are 3,481, and 3,481 4s are we have 13,924. So the value of P now we have just a 4 into 2500. So that P equals to, we have 25 fours are 100, on it we have the 2 zeros. That means we are getting the principal amount becomes 10,000 rupees. Look at the question number 8 from practice set 14.2. The population of a suburb is 16,000. Find the rate of increase in the population if the population after 2 years is 17,640. So look at the given data, what we have given in it. At start, the population of suburb, we have the 16,000. So the P value we have 16,000. And at the end of 2 years, that means duration we have the 2 years. And the amount of population at the end of the 2 years means the value of A we are having 17,640. We have to evaluate the rate of increase in the population. That means the value of R. So once it is compounded annually, so that we have to use the formula belongs to a compound interest. Amount at the end of the 2 years is equal to principal into 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 whole to the power duration means the capital N. So once we replace the known values, we are having here amount to be equals to 17,640. That is equals to principal value we have 16,000 into 1 plus rate of interest we have to evaluate. So keep that R as it is, whole divided by 100 to the power we have a 2. Now look at the LHS and RHS numbers. We are having 17,640 and 16,000. Both are at start divisible by 10. So I am writing one statement, divide throughout equation by 10. So that 17,640 divided by 10, we are getting 1,764. That is equals to 16,000 divided by 10, we are getting 1600 into 1 plus now R divided by 100 the whole square. Now once there is a square and under that we have the variable R. So let's try to take now square root on both sides. So that I am writing one statement taking square root on both sides. Now once we are taking square root on both sides, now square root of 1764 we have a 42, while 1600 square root we have a 40 into 1 plus R divided by 100 the whole squares are square root. Square root getting cancelled, we are getting 1 plus R divided by 100. Now once we distribute this 40 over the bracket, so that now we are getting 42 to be equals to 40 ones are 40 plus 40 into R divided by 100. So that 10 from numerator denominator getting cancelled. 2 2s are we have a 4, 2 5s are 10. So that will remain with the 42 to be equals to 40 plus now 2R divided by a 5. Once we shift now 40 from RHS to LHS, so that positive 40 becomes after all shifting minus 40. That is equals to we have 2R divided by 5. Now 42 minus 40 we are getting a 2 equals to 2R divided by 5. Now to evaluate the value of R, we have to shift a 5 from RHS to LHS. 5 is the divisor, after all shifting it will becomes a multiplier. So 2 into 5 equals to we have a 2R, 5 2s are 10 equals to we have a 2R. Now to evaluate the value of R, shift the 2. 2 is a multiplier, after all shifting it will becomes a divisor. So that we have now value of R 10 divided by 2 becomes 5. So R becomes the percentage per annum. So let's put the unit as a percentage. So R value we have a 5%. Look at the question number 9 from practice set 14.2. In how many years rupees 700 will amount to rupees 847 at a compound interest rate of 10% per annum? Now we have given that. So we have to find in how many years means the duration, value of N. Principal value we have given the 700 rupees. Amount at the end of the given duration we have a 847 rupees and rate of interest we have the 10% per annum. Once it is compounded annually, so we have A to be equals to now P into 1 plus R divided by 100 whole to the power N. Value of A we have given 847, that is equals to value of P we have a 700 into we have a 1 plus R value is now 10 divided by 100 whole to the power N. Now once to evaluate the value of N, we are shifting 700 from RHS to LHS. we are getting 847 divided by 700, that is equals to 10 ones are 10, 10 tens are 100, so that we have 1 plus 1 upon 10 whole to the power n. Let's by making cross multiplication over RHS bracket and look at the LHS. We have a 700 is a 700 and we are having 121 sevens are 847. So that we are getting 121 divided by 100, that is equals to 10 ones are 10 plus 11, 10 plus 1 is 11 whole divided by 10 to the power n. Now 121 is the perfect square of 11 and 100 be the perfect square of 10. So that once we are taking square of numerator denominator common, we are getting 11 divided by 10 the whole square, that is equals to 11 divided by 10 whole to the power n. Now once the bases are same and the given numbers are equal, so their indices must be equal, so that we can equate their indices, means we are having now 2 equals to n, means the n value is 2 in terms of years. So the duration we have 2 years. Look at the question number 10 from practice set 14.2. Find the difference between simple interest and the compound interest on 20,000 at 8% per annum. Now we have given that principal amount, that is 20,000 rupees, and the rate of interest is equals to, we have 8% per annum, means the 8%. Now duration is not given. So keep in mind for the first year, once we are taking the value of duration becomes 1, so at that time the simple interest becomes equals to the compound interest. Keep in mind, because once we are having the principal value is same, year duration we have the 1 year and the rate of interest is same. Now once we are considering for the 2 years, once we are taking the duration is the 2 years, so whatever be the amount at the end of the first year by using the simple interest formula, that will be the principal amount for the upcoming year, that means for the second year. So that here we are choosing the n value becomes 2 years. Then and then we are getting the difference between the compound interest and the simple interest. So that now once we are having the formula for the simple interest, that is principal into rate of interest into duration divided by 100. So the value of SI we are getting, principal value we have 20,000 into rate of interest we have a 8 and into duration we have a 2 whole divided by 100. Now 2 zeros from denominator and from numerator getting cancelled. 8 2s are 16, 16 2s are 32. So the value of simple interest we have 3,200 rupees. Now let's try to evaluate the value of compound interest. So for that we are evaluating at start the amount which is compounded annually as per the compound interest. We have P into 1 plus R divided by 100 whole to the power n. So the value of A equals to principal value we have 20,000 rupees, 1 plus rate of interest is 8 divided by 100 whole to the power duration is 2. So that should implies now the value of A becomes 20,000 into 1 plus. Now we are having 4 2s are 8 and 25 4s are 100. So that will remain with the 2 divided by 25 the whole square. So that we have now the 20,000 into, let's by making cross multiplication in case of the bracket, 25 ones are 25 plus 2 is 27 divided by 25 the whole square. Now the whole square means itself a 2 times multiplication, that means we are getting 27 divided by 25 into 27 divided by 25. Now we well known here 25 ones are 25 and 25 8s are, we have a 200. So that we are getting, after all dividing 20,000 by 25, that should be 800. Again once we divide 800 by 25, we are getting 25 ones are 25, 25 into 32 we have the 800. So that will remain with the 32 into 27 into 27. Now 27 into 27 we have 729. 729 into 32 we are getting 23,328. So that we have to evaluate now the value of CI. So CI equals to amount minus principal. So 23,328 minus principal value we have 20,000. We are getting 3,328 rupees be the value of CI. CI means the compound interest. Now we have to evaluate here the value of difference between CI and SI. That means the compound interest and the simple interest. Compound interest we are having 3328. Simple interest we are having 3200. And the difference now we are getting 128 rupees. So hence here we have the all questions belongs to our practice set 14.2. Thank you.